Have you ever dreamed of living on a lake in Connecticut? Well, today we are going to be diving into Amston Lake, which is a private lake community that offers peace, recreation, and a little New England charm. In this video, we're going to talk about lake access, the local real estate market around the lake, and the lifestyle. So let's dive in. My name is Jason Boyce. I'm a local real estate agent here in Central and Eastern Connecticut. And I have passions for fitness, real estate, and family life with my wife Jasmine and our dog Holly. On this channel, we're going to cover everything you need to know about upsizing or downsizing in the state of Connecticut. Thank you for tuning in. So, Amston Lake is located south of Hebron Center, north of Colchester, and west of Lebanon. Believe it or not, Amston Lake is actually bisected. Half of the lake exists in Amston. And by the way, Amston is a borough of Hebron. So all the taxes and everything for the Amston side go to Hebron. And half of the lake is Lebanon. Now, Amston Lake is a private lake. There is a private lake association, the Amston Lake Tax District. All your dues go to there. Typically, the fees are not very expensive. There are about 550 households in the Amston Lake District, and the lake dues generally range anywhere from like $200 to $400 a year. So it's a one-time payment once a year. That provides you with lake access. It also provides you with boat stickers, and it also provides some funds for the Lake Association to monitor the water quality in the lake. Amston Lake is one of the cleanest lakes in the state. They regularly test the water quality. They also, during the prime summer seasons, they have somebody at the beaches making sure that only members of the Lake District have access. And so by doing that, the private Lake District, only members of the lake community have access. You have passes and you have to show those in order to gain access to the beaches. There are two main beaches. One on the Lebanon side called Lollipop Beach, and then there's one on the Amston side called Main Beach. Also around the lake, there are about 8 kayak launches. If you live in the Lake District, you have the ability to get up to, I believe it's 3 stickers for you can have it on your kayak, your canoe, your paddleboard, whatever you want to, and you can store them on the launches, so you don't have to carry them down every single time. Because of the private lake district, there are no outside boats allowed. You have to be a member of the lake district with your stickers. Also, there are no motorboats. Well, no gas-powered motorboats. They do allow electric motors. So on the lake, you will see people with pontoon boats or fishing boats with electric motors. Because the lake is very clean, you will see a lot of people swimming in the lake and in the 2 main beaches. And outside of people's houses, you'll see docks and floating docks. You'll see a lot of people doing kayaking or paddleboarding, that type of stuff. The community vibe, the ALA, Amston Lake Association, puts on a bunch of events. They have movie nights on the beach. There's morning yoga on the beach. There's a lot of community events that they do here also. And the Lake District has their own rules and regulations. I'll provide the link below if you want to dig into them. It is a dog-friendly community, however, not all year round. During the busy seasons on the lake, dogs are not allowed. They are allowed on the beaches during the off-season. And that does also include all the kayak launches. So that being said, the style of house you're going to see is going to vary drastically. You will see a lot of the old cottages built in the 40s and 50s, and those are going to range anywhere from like 1,000, well, less than 1,000. I mean, there's a number that are 600, 700, 800 square foot cottages. And you'll see a number of 1,000 to 1,500 square foot, cottages or houses that have been old cottages that have been updated or renovated. And then you'll see not a lot, but a number of people have been adding onto or tearing down and building new. So you do see a number of 1,500 to 2,500 square foot houses that have been being built in the last 20 years or so. And we're starting to see more and more people buy, tear down, and build new. as, right, post-COVID, the ability to work from home, more and more people want to live in lake communities. Actually, a trend we've seen is that lake community properties have been appreciating at a faster rate than the state in general because of that desire. Now, in order to preserve lake quality, about 20 years ago, the Amston or Hebron side of the lake made mandatory everyone connect to sewer. So everyone on the Amston side is connected to sewer. Only more recently, I believe it was like 8 to 10 years ago, the Lebanon side made everyone connect to sewer. So now the entire Lake District is sewer, and that benefits, right? Because now none of that is seeping into the lake. So definitely helped contributed to being one of the cleanest lakes in the state. Public water is available to about 70% of the Lake District, so not everyone has the ability to have it. It was not a mandatory switchover, so there are still a number of houses that had a perfectly fine working well and have chose to keep it. Over the years, more and more people have been connecting to city water as their wells run out, etc. Rather than replace the well, they just connect to city water. It is one of the few lakes in this area that does have full city water and city sewer available, which helps the conversion to year-round. Some of the other lakes in the area, unless your lot is big enough to fit a full septic system and well, you're not able to convert to year-round, whereas in Amston Lake District, you can because you have access to both public water and sewer. Getting into all the zoning regulations is in a lot more depth than this. I will provide a link to them below, and you can always reach out to me. We've done helped a number of clients with year-round conversions and new builds in the Lake District if you have any specific questions. Let's talk a little bit about the real estate market. Prices are going to vary widely. So seasonal cottages probably going to be selling for $250 to $275. Again, it depends on the size, the condition, that type of thing. But seasonal cottages are going to sell for much less than year-round. Your year-round homes typically starting around $300,000, and that's just for like a small ranch, and they're going to go up from there. Now, huge difference if you are waterfront versus not waterfront. You take the same house, not waterfront, you're probably buying it for $150,000 to $200,000 less than if you move that same front to a waterfront lot. So know that if you want waterfront, you are going to be paying a premium. Waterfront houses are selling for, $500,000 for seasonal in good condition for a small cottage. Probably up to, there are a couple houses on the lake that would probably sell for $1 million if they were sold. So it is a progressively up and coming lake, and property values are moving up accordingly as people continue to develop and build nicer houses on the lake. In the past year, in the entire Amston Lake District, there have been 25 properties sold, and they have ranged in price from $93,000 for a very rundown cottage to $550,000 for an early 2000 build house that had been updated. If you want waterfront, know that only about 1, maybe 2 houses a year come up listed for sale waterfront on Amston Lake. So if that's what you're really looking for, you got to go for it. And you're going to have to put in a really strong offer, probably over list price, and more than likely as few contingencies as possible, because they are highly coveted and they don't sell very often. Oftentimes they stay in families for generations. So let's do a quick recap, some of the pros and cons. There is a lot of lake access. You got the 2 beaches, 8 kayak launches, so no shortage of lake access and easily storage for your kayaks, canoes, that type of stuff, so you don't have to haul them. Big positive. It is a private lake district, so only people that live within the lake district get access. A lot of people like that. It is very peaceful. There are no motorboats, no speedboats. It's electric motors only. And there is a community feel around Amston Lake that you don't get in a lot of other lakes in the area. Full disclosure, happen to live in the Amston Lake District. I love walking my dog around this neighborhood. It is so peaceful and safe. Cons. There are not a ton of houses here. We went through, right, about 2 houses a month get listed in the Lake District. If you want waterfront, even less, 1, maybe 2 a year actually come to the market. So there's not a lot of inventory. When you're looking at houses, be conscious of well. Some houses still are on a well, and you want to be careful of the area because only about 70% of the Lake District has access to public water. So if public water is something that's really important to you, you just want to be cognizant of the areas that don't have access to it. Now, quick note about property taxes. Now, living in a lake community like Amston Lake District, you are going to have lower property taxes compared to like shoreline towns. Because the lake is bisected in half, the Hebron side or the Amston side tends to have higher taxes than the Lebanon side. So if you want to live in a lake district and you really want lower taxes, you might want to look to the Lebanon side as the taxes do tend to be lower there. So hope you found that helpful. If you are thinking about buying or selling in the Amston Lake District or some of the surrounding areas and lakes, I am here to help. We have helped a number of people purchase and convert seasonal cottages to year-round. We also have worked with a builder to build new houses in the Lake District. So if you want information about what you can build, there are a lot of regulations in the Lake District. And again, it's going to vary by town. Remember, you got part of the side is Lebanon, part is Amston, and they have different zoning regulations for what you can build. But there are limitations on height, coverage ratio, setbacks, all that stuff, and it's going to vary from town to town. So questions on that, feel free to reach out. We are here to help. If you live in the Lake District, tell us what you love. I love to hear about what other people love about living here. And if you know anyone looking to move in the Lake District, please like this video, share it with them, and I hope you found this helpful. Thank you for tuning in.